There's a famous saying that the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who just loves the destination. But how do you actually become the person who loves to walk when you're exhausted from work, you're a bit sore, and your lungs are burning, and you honestly just hate going to the gym? It turns out neuroscience has a secret backdoor to human motivation. It doesn't involve discipline, but it does involve a specific chemical cocktail that makes work feel like play. And by the end of this video, you're going to have the exact 4-stage blueprint to trigger it so you can force yourself to love going to the gym. Look, you will have to get gritty if you want to change your life, but relying on grit alone is unsustainable for a long-term goal. When you rely solely on grit and discipline, every single workout is a negotiation with your brain. And eventually you will lose that battle, you'll burn out, and you'll be pissed off because you can't stay consistent. But what if you didn't have to fight yourself? To understand how to make fitness easy, we have to look at the 4 distinct stages of the passion loop. And it all starts with something you've probably never felt towards fitness. Curiosity. When you are genuinely curious about a subject, the effort it takes to learn or improve doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. Think back to when you were a kid playing a video game or playing your sport. It may have been difficult, but it didn't take willpower to keep doing it, did it? It required effort for sure, but wasn't it fun? When you become curious about your body's potential, you stop asking yourself, how do I get through this workout? And you start wondering, what would it feel like if I lost 20 pounds? What would it feel like if I chased my kids around and I was able to play with them until they ran out of energy? What is my body truly capable of? You see, curiosity shifts your brain from this defensive state to an offensive exploratory state. When I ran my first marathon a couple of years ago, I was intrigued by David Goggins and all the crazy endurance races he had done. I thought to myself, if he's a human and can run 200 plus miles, surely I can run 26. I was curious to find out what I was capable of. I never ran more than 15 miles during training, but in every session I would imagine myself what it was going to feel like when I crossed that line. My curiosity, stacked with the other 3 elements we're covering in this video, forced me into a flow state during almost every run until I finally completed my goal. You are obviously curious about your potential or you wouldn't be watching this video, so you're on the right track. But curiosity needs a foundation. And that foundation is purpose. The first thing I do before I make any training or nutrition program for a client is spend as long as it takes dissecting their purpose and their reason for getting started with me. In fact, when high performers apply for my private coaching program, whether they're executives, entrepreneurs, or driven professionals, we don't just jump into lifting weights. We start by engineering a bulletproof framework based on their lifestyle and intrinsic motivation so they never burn out. If you want to apply for one of those private coaching spots, by the way, the link is down in the description. Because before you ever step foot on a treadmill or pick up a dumbbell, you have to know why you deeply desire to change your life. And here's the fascinating psychology behind this. Having a true purpose shifts your attention off of yourself and onto the task at hand or the people you care about. Why does this matter? Because having a strong purpose guards you against self-rumination, which psychologists like Mihai Csikszentmihalyi have proven to be one of the root causes of anxiety and depression. A strong purpose is like a shield that allows you to endure difficulty over a longer period of time without burning out. If you're just staring at your sloppy body in the mirror and you're waking up at 5 a.m. for no reason, of course training feels like punishment. But if each sweaty workout moved you 1% closer to finding a partner and having kids, for example, it feels like a privilege. So what is your why for getting lean? Drop a comment below and tell me what yours is. Once you have your purpose, then you can set your goals. Over 2,000 years ago, the great philosopher Aristotle discovered that setting goals is one of the primary motivators of human behavior. He realized that humans are teleological creatures, which means we are hardwired to pursue targets. When you set clear goals and milestones, you tell your brain where to direct its energy and attention to. Every time you cross a milestone, your brain releases dopamine. You get that winning feeling. And that dopamine creates a positive feedback loop that propels you to keep going, regardless of how difficult it is. Which brings me to a crucial point. Don't set impossible goals. Set huge goals that will make a massive difference, but don't set a goal of losing 50 pounds in a month. For example, I could set the goal of losing 18 pounds over the next 3 months with weekly milestones of 1.5 pounds lost per week. This is a very difficult goal for me because I'm already around 12% body fat, but it is achievable. And if I were to obtain it, it would make a huge difference in my health, my career, and my confidence. So why is it important to set these high but achievable goals? Because you have to actually cross these milestones to get that positive feedback loop that makes you addicted to getting better. If you want to do what I do, you can take this a step further by having each exercise and workout tracked and logged in an app so you can visually see yourself getting closer to completion. It's just like scratching tasks off a list. It feels good to see yourself completing things. Sometimes I'll even go as far as timing each exercise so I can challenge myself to complete all of the reps before the clock hits 0. And this is one of the reasons why functional fitness competitions like High Rocks have grown so popular. If you don't know what High Rocks is, it's a standardized fitness race that combines endurance with functional fitness. I'm not getting paid to say any of this, but I've done 2 races and they were by far the hardest but the most fun things I've ever done in my life. And one of the other big reasons why High Rocks has grown so popular lately is because of the final stage of the passion loop. Social reinforcement. When you share your journey, train with others, or get positive attention for your progress, your brain doesn't just release dopamine. It mixes that dopamine with oxytocin, the chemical of trust and connection. When these 2 neurochemicals combine, it creates a powerful reward system that feeds right back into your curiosity. This exact feedback loop is what psychologists call the birth of passion. You aren't just an isolated person suffering in a gym anymore. You are part of something bigger. When I started training over a decade ago, I was lucky enough to have my dad supporting me, over a dozen coaches, and even more teammates to push me along. Those 5 a.m. workouts sucked, but it was strangely enjoyable for me. There was never a shortage of people to train, compete, and just get better with. I remember being in like elementary and middle school, and me and my family, my brothers and my dad, we do this push-up card game. We'd have a deck of cards, and basically whatever card you pulled, that's how many push-ups you had to do. So when I was 10, 11 years old, I was competing with myself and I had these set goals within a workout. We had clear rules. You draw a card, you do that many push-ups, and the goal was to get through the entire deck of cards without your chest or your arms falling off of your body. Sometimes there would just be multiple winners, and other times we would just pull back up the deck of cards and do it again until somebody gave up and there was just one winner. I was willing to struggle because I had people there around me. We were competing and we were accomplishing goals together. So share your wins. Tell your friends or random people in the grocery store what you're learning. Show your progress photos, and if you can, get surrounded by people who are also trying to get in shape and improve their lives. Because friends make hard things a bit more fun. Now, stop trying to bully your brain into getting fit with grit alone. Ignite your curiosity. Anchor that with a purpose. Track your goals and milestones and find your community. Fall in love with that walk and the destination will take care of itself. If you got some value out of this video, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help a brother out. And if you're serious about leveling up and you have the resources, that link to apply for my private coaching program is in the description. Nonetheless, I appreciate you watching and I'll see you in the next one.